I came to this very office as part of a delegation from our Jewish day school to learn a little more and improve. And I walked in the front door, and it was Shavuot, and there were these really amazing pictures on the wall, the Got Milk campaign, but it said Got Shavuos, and there was Israeli music blaring through the hallways, and a sea of blue and white. And I walked in, and I thought, this is where my children are going to go to school.
So I have two children who've graduated from Akiba Barrack. We found that the community is diverse. It gives the kids a real spectrum of Jews from all different walks of life, and they all learn to coexist, to explain who they are, to be sensitive to everybody's feelings. It's just a wonderful place to teach your child how to be a mensch.
My parents gave me a gift. It is the gift that my parents have given me lots of gifts. They really have. They're awesome. And when we look back, and my siblings and I look back, the one gift that I think all of us agree is probably the biggest gift my parents gave us was the gift of day school education. And so for me to be able to give that to my kids and to be able to pass it on is so important to me.
Jewish day school was never on our radar. It was not something that we moved to Lower Merion, and we stayed in Lower Merion because we wanted to use public schools. But when we saw the difference in education of a Jewish based on learning and community, the values of Judaism, when we saw how that influenced the education our children were getting, it's night and day. It was like having a partner in parenting. Barrack was partnering with me to move my kids forward to be the best that they could be. And more than that, the small environment allowed them to figure out who they were. And in the size of Barrack, being smaller than the public school has had no effect on how they feel about becoming a part of a much larger community because they know who they are.
We live in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Ben came in 7th grade, and now he's in 10th grade. And he has to wake up very early to get to school. And my almost 16-year-old says on a fairly regular basis when I wake him up, Mom, I can't wait to get to school. I say, and I tell this to Sharon, there is not one thing about this place that I can complain about or don't like.
I think of all of the things you can get here in one place, and it's pretty amazing. And you can get an incredibly excellent academic curriculum with extraordinary support for college admissions. At the same time, you get a Jewish community, and you get the family-like feeling of the community.
Coming from day school, we know how important it is to have a Jewish education. It's the best gift you can give your children. It's an asset that they will have forever and ever.
The faculty that take an interest in the children and, celebrate their accomplishments. It's easy to champion an amazing product where your children are very happy.
My hope is to make Barrack the premier educational school in the entire region for Jews of all affiliations.
So my biggest dream for the school is continued growth, increased enrollment, and financial stability, because really what that will allow is for many, many generations of future children to come have the Barrack experience.
My dream for Barrack is to continue to grow on the trajectory where we are to greater excellence, to be the premier school for Jewish education in this community.
For us to go from strength to strength, right? From what we have now to build on the extraordinary foundation that we have, so that when people in the community come and think about where should I send my kid for middle school and high school, if you're in the Jewish community, Barrack is always on the list and is always at the top of the list.
But if I want my child to have the best possible education that is available in this region, and also have a supportive, diverse, warm Jewish community and Jewish education as part of that education, and I want my child to be exposed to leadership development of the highest order, all in one package, I want them to only think of Barrack.